Let us travel back in time, not by a few thousand years and not even a few million years. Let us go back around 233 million years ago. The earth looks utterly alien to us. There are no birds singing in trees. There is no grass waving in the wind, no mammals running around, and no flowering plants. Instead, the world is dominated by strange reptiles, fern forests, giant amphibians, and huge deserts stretching across a single massive continent called Pangaea. The climate is mostly harsh and dry. Large parts of the planet are dusty deserts. Life exists but is not flourishing in the way it will later. Dinosaurs exist at this time, but they are small, insignificant creatures. Imagine skinny, two legged reptiles no bigger than dogs or goats. They live quietly in the shadows of other dominant animals. No one would bet on these tiny dinosaurs becoming the rulers of the earth. And then something extraordinary happens. The earth begins to change. Deep beneath the planet's surface, enormous geological forces begin to stir. In what is now Western North America, a gigantic volcanic eruption happens in a region called the Vrangelia Large Igneous Province. This province begins erupting. There isn't just one volcano or 10 volcanoes. Rather, an entire region of the earth starts pouring lava. And this is not a short eruption, it goes on for hundreds of thousands of years. Lava floods across the land like fiery rivers. Volcanoes release enormous amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. The atmosphere begins to change. The planet warms, the oceans warm, weather systems start behaving strangely. And then the rains begin. Earth has rarely seen this before. The dry Triassic world suddenly becomes wet, very wet. For perhaps 10 to 20 lakh years, the planet experiences a period of intense rainfall. Scientists call this episode the Carnian Pluvial Event. Carnian refers to the stage of the Triassic period, and pluvial simply means rain. But this was not ordinary rain. Entire desert regions suddenly turned into wetlands and rivers. Monsoon systems intensified. Storms became stronger. Massive floods carved new landscapes. Sediments washed into the oceans in huge quantities. Imagine deserts that had been dry for millions of years suddenly turning into muddy, storm battered landscapes. Life got thrown into chaos. Such dramatic climate shifts always have consequences. Many species that were adapted to the old dry climate struggle to survive. Some reptiles disappear, marine ecosystems are disrupted, coral like organisms collapse, large amphibians decline. This period is actually considered a minor mass extinction. But extinctions are only half the story because whenever ecological space opens up, something else takes it. It's an opportunity for the underdogs. Remember those small dinosaurs living quietly in the background? The climate changes are about to give them a huge opportunity. The old dominant reptiles began declining. Their ecological niches become empty. Meanwhile, dinosaurs have several traits that suddenly become advantageous. They walk with their legs directly under their bodies instead of sprawling sideways like many reptiles. This makes them more efficient runners. Their lungs and metabolism may have allowed better endurance. They reproduce relatively quickly. As the environment becomes unstable and new plant communities emerge, dinosaurs begin spreading rapidly. Within a few million years, they go from being minor background animals to becoming one of the most important groups on Earth. The Carnian Pluvial Event doesn't just help dinosaurs. Even the first true turtles emerge, early crocodile relatives evolve, and some of the first mammals begin appearing. New plant groups diversify. If you had stood on Earth during the Carnian Pluvial Event, you would have simply noticed a strange change in the weather: more storms, more floods, and more vegetation. But in the deep story of life, something profound was happening. The ecological chessboard was being rearranged, and in the new world that emerged from the rains, dinosaurs were suddenly ready to take over. Within about 3 crore years, they would dominate the planet completely. They would rule the earth for the next 165 million years, all because the climate changed. The Carnian Pluvial Event reminds us of something humbling. History is not always shaped by the strongest species. Sometimes it is shaped by weather, a shift in rainfall, or even a change in temperature, or even a few volcanic eruptions. And suddenly, the underdogs inherit the earth. Dinosaurs did not conquer the planet through a grand plan. They were simply the right creatures in the right place when the rain began to fall. Thank you so much for listening. Do like the video and subscribe to the channel, and share the video as much as possible.